Okay, so welcome to another session of meditation. I guess you have been training under different teachers almost every Monday, so it's a bit difficult if we have to keep on adjusting, but this is the roster here, so we just go according to conditions. Yeah. So first and foremost, may I know whether there's anyone who is absolutely a new beginner in meditation? Oh, that's good. Everyone is more or less experienced, so that's good, yeah. So for tonight, I really thought that maybe I should touch on something different because I'm not sure what other teachers have been teaching or guiding during the Monday night session, but I've been here these 2 or 3 days, and there are already, talks about death in families, sicknesses, losing of jobs, and children getting into some kind of complications not due to their faults and all those things. So these are the what I call ups and downs of life, really. So there are always happy things happening, like somebody who is able to find a job within days after being retrenched and all that, and someone who is actually having some kind of, happy occasions, celebrations and all that in the family, somebody buying a new house, and all. There are good things in life, but life is so full of what we call happiness, unhappiness, happiness, unhappiness. It just, kept on roller coasting in our lives. So most of us want to do meditation because we want to find peace and happiness, at least peace for the time that we're able to be here. And it is actually very good that we have a group meditation because, the energy is different, and also it's more encouraging to see that we have fellow practitioners around us so that we can actually strive on with more diligence. Yep. But at the same time, we are also hoping that with our practice of metta, karuna, all the positive qualities of the heart can actually give us more happiness in life and a good direction in life. But are we able to really embrace changes when it comes, especially those that are not so positive? Yeah, I actually have been asking myself this question just now when I was actually talking to Irene about how one family who went out on a New Year's celebration got into a car accident. The driver was the male, and inside the car were 3 females, right? One is a mom, one is his wife, one is his daughter. Within that one accident, he lost the 3 generations on the very spot. I really don't mean to really, sort of like give you such negative kind of energy right now, but I just was thinking impermanence will come anytime without warning. Are we prepared? Impermanence that comes in positive form is always very easy for us to embrace. But impermanence that comes in very shocking kind of situations, are we able to embrace? Let's not even talk about death. Let's just talk about changes in life. Are we able to embrace the negative changes that happens in our life? All of us go through that, right? So tonight is not really Upekkha trying to dampen all your spirits or anything. It's just that I thought that maybe it's an opportunity for us to really contemplate on something that's happening around us all the time, right? Impermanence. And also death. I remember when I was a student as a layperson I come from Singapore, so we learn from our teachers in Singapore. And, our teacher, he wouldn't touch on this impermanence and death contemplation until we are experienced meditators, right? So I think tonight maybe this is an opportunity for us to just do a little bit of contemplation on impermanence and death. Are we ready to embrace it? Are we ready to accept changes in our life? We always hope that with meditation we can hope for our life in samsara to at least bring us some joy, some happiness, right? We have learned Buddhism and we know that everything is impermanent, but we still hope that we can continue to live our life with some expectation of happiness, arising every now and then to sort of like boost up our life with more positive energy and all that. But at the end of the day, a lot of us still have to face what the Buddha has mentioned in the First Noble Truth, aging, sickness, and finally, bye-bye. Yeah. So I'm not sure whether you are all ready to do a little bit of contemplation before we go into whatever techniques you are employing for your meditation. Because I think many of us will be doing anapanasati. Am I right? Most of you will be doing the breath meditation in your daily practice. Am I right? Anyone doing something different? Metta meditation. But whatever you do, most of the time it will end with breath meditation. That's when we can really go into stillness, when we are not having contemplation. Because when we are contemplating, our mind is still working, right? So after contemplating, even if you are doing metta meditation, yes, our mind can be also working a little bit. But if we really know how to read it, loving kindness in the correct way, we may be able to get into a very good state of mind. Yeah. So tonight, I was hoping that perhaps being experienced meditators, we can touch a little bit on impermanence coupled with death together. Because death is also impermanence of life. As our teachers always say, birth and death, they are just processes of nature which will happen to us anytime. So with birth comes death, that's definite. No one can escape. So are you happy to do a little bit of that kind of contemplation before we go into the breath meditation already? No one is going to run out of fear? Yeah, because this is something that not many people can really accept. Yeah. Okay, shall we do that? Just for tonight? Okay, I'm not going to do something that's very deep, but I'm just going to introduce just a very simple kind of contemplation, which I learned as a student when I was a layperson. Something that comes from further away up to something that's very personal, that is about ourselves. Okay, so if you're ready, then we'll take a position well. Sit according to how you want to turn off the lights, okay? Yeah, thank you. It will be a very brief, a few steps, and then later on I'll just leave you to go into your breath meditation and we can meditate together. Yeah? So, okay, please sit comfortably as you would, as usual. Yeah? Comfortably. All right. And of course, we close our eyes. So we are going to start with impermanence and maybe ending up with death, or I'll couple it together. I think that's easier because I don't want to take too much of your time into this kind of very practical kind of practice to prepare us to accept impermanence and death anytime it comes to us. But this is something that is not very pleasant for most people to go through, but it is a reality that we have to accept. Okay, so please, as usual, take in your 3 deep breaths. So now let's start on the contemplation on impermanence. Think of your homes. I mean, the first house that you lived in. Unless you have never moved house before, it may be difficult, but I'm quite sure that many of us have actually moved a few places in our life. If you are young, you may contemplate on the house that you are living in. If it's the same house, contemplate on the changes that's taking place in your house. Our properties, our so-called houses, our homes, have they been the same since the time you remember? Has it always been in the same place? Or has there been changes in your life? If there has not been any change, you have been staying in the same house, just think of the house. Is it still in the same condition as before? Think of the changes that happens. Then you come to your current house, the house that you are staying in now. Has it been the same conditions? Have you made changes to the house? Is the house still under the same condition, as good as new as before? Or are there changes that you have already made to the house, to the garden, to the property? There will be changes, definitely, because we like to make changes to our houses. So think of the current house that you are now living in. What changes have taken place? Are you happy with the changes? So now we go to the next subject of contemplation. Whether you are working or in school or uni, or whether you are retired, if you're in school, think of the schools that you have gone through. If you're working, think of the jobs that you may have changed. If you're retired, think of the time when you started to work until the times you change, you retire. All the different stages that you have to go through, happiness, frustration. Was there anything that was really permanent? Think of those changes. How did you feel? Now we come to think about this body of ours. Try to recollect as far back as you can. Are you the same as before? What are the changes going through? Physical changes, psychological, mental, spiritual. Think of the whole process of changes that took place as far back as you can remember, right up to now. We are all still using the same name. Maybe you have changed your name, but just imagine all the changing that has taken place to this physical body and the mental states of mind. All the changes that came naturally with time. Now we move on to our family members and friends, someone we know. Has there been any death in the family amongst our relatives, amongst our friends? We read in the papers and medias about death occurring every day in every country that has wars. It doesn't affect us so much. But what about deaths? Someone we know, someone related to us, family members. How did we deal with all this loss? No one can stop death from happening. Sometimes it can come suddenly. How did you deal with all these deaths? Let's now come to ourselves. Just imagine that we are about to die. Are we able to accept that? Let's just imagine that the doctors say we only have a few more days to go to live. Can we accept that? We know that death will always come upon us. It's just a matter of time. But sometimes it comes suddenly, without any warning, without expectation, no warning at all. Are we ready to go? Leaving behind our family members, our loved ones, our possessions, our status, friends, associates, things we love to do, everything left behind. Nothing that we can bring along. Am I ready? To just lose it like that? Am I ready? If death knocks on the door to lead us on. Can we accept that? Please keep your eyes closed. This simple exercise is just to remind us that we are all part of the process of nature, which has a lot of changes, all conditioned. Anything conditioned to arising will perish. And we, as human beings, are part of that process. No one can stop that. This is not an exercise to dampen our spirits. It is just a reminder that this is part of our life, part of life created by nature, part of the process of nature. This is not about being pessimistic. This is about being realistic, preparing us to live life as best as we can, generating positive energy every moment that we can, not to be living with pessimistic attitudes, but knowing that life is short, we're full of changes. Are we able to live in the present moment? The present moment, which is so powerful to give us that peace and contentment, happiness. This is an exercise, a reminder to abandon ego, arrogance, to be grateful, to be humble for all that we have, to the people who have been there with us, benefiting us in any small ways. This is all about generating positive energies of the heart to treasure this life, to be contented, to be grateful, to be forgiving, not to be trapped by the prisons of life that we create for ourselves. With this understanding, may we now dwell into our breath meditation, the technique that you are familiar with. Please employ that technique as we all meditate together in noble silence. Not to recollect any more of what we have just been through. The exercise is now of the past. Let's live in the present moment of our in and out breath. You can always use the energy in your hands, to really just rub on the surfaces that may be hurting you or not feeling too comfortable. Yep. Even on your face, just to get your energy going around your neck area. Yeah. Don't attempt to stand up too quickly. Okay, I'm not sure whether I scared anybody off just now or not about dying. Was there anybody who was really scared? No? That's really good, yeah. It only shows that we are all ready to accept that this is going to happen to us. I still remember the time when I was in Thailand, in a forest monastery run by a lady teacher. And so one of the exercises that we had to do contemplating on that was she'll bring us to a very isolated area, and there's a little hut that she constructed in there. Inside there's just one Buddha image somewhere in the corner, and in the middle of that little hut there's this little box which she asked us to imagine as a coffin, right? So before we were led there, she actually openly discussed what she wanted us to experience. Quite a number of people dare not go because they just didn't want to have the fear of experiencing what it's like to be alone in a box which you can imagine to be your coffin. That was how scary it was for a lot of people, and I think it is still the same for a lot of people nowadays. People are just afraid to talk about death. We can see a lot of death happening around us, our family and friends and relatives passing away due to old age and all that. People can accept, but when it comes to someone young, it's so shocking, and it really hurts deep. Yeah. So when we were led into that room, the teacher's assistant would just, line us up outside. Then one by one, we go in for just 3 minutes. Just go in, climb into the box. Of course, it's not covered because, we are not really dead. Just climb into the box, lie straight like you are in the coffin, and then just feel whatever you want to feel, right? So, of course, I went and I experienced that. And then you feel that when I'm lying in the coffin, what can I bring with me? Nothing. You really lose everything. Yeah. So, of course, there was this lady who later on came out of the experience, and she was talking to our teacher and say, there's nothing I can bring with me. Not even all the money that I love so much. And she decided to donate a lot of money to the monastery. So that was really amazing. She told the teacher, I can't bring any money with me, right? When I'm in the coffin, no one is going to put my money into the coffin to burn with me, cremate with me. No one. So why don't I do a good deed out of what I have right now? Yeah. So of course, people like us, I belong to. That was about 20 over years ago. So we have a group of young friends who went to Thailand to learn from this teacher. We decided to ordain. You work so hard, finally to face aging, sickness, and death. And then you're reborn again through the same process. Ajahn Brahm always tells us, do you really want to be reborn again? You want to go through childhood, getting grown up, going to school, passing exams, and all those kind of stuff, over and over and over again. Yeah. So, is there any of us who really see the urgency to get out of samsara? That's the question we always ask ourselves, and I ask myself that. Do I really see the urgency to get off samsara? We learn about it through Buddhism. We come to meditate because we're trying to find peace and happiness. To continue this life, to continue coming back? Or do we really want to practice meditation? To really have some insights as to what is our existence about? What is the truth that Lord Buddha is trying to teach us? How many of us have really understood his teachings? All the teachers who have been trying year after year after year after year, trying to teach us the meaning and purpose of life. How many of us really understand the meaning of it? Yeah. So this is something for us to really contemplate here. Not that we really don't want to get out of samsara, we really want to, but sometimes it's because of our karma. All of us have our different karma to live out. So that's why we have different lifestyles, different approaches to life, different experiences and all that, because of our karma unfolding. Yeah. But as our teachers are now emphasizing, the benefits and the power of now, the present moment, is something that we can actually generate to help us, steer us towards the correct path to get out of samsara. Now, don't let our past influence us too much, but that is exactly what is trapping us a lot of time. The past is always there, trapping us, reliving all those past moments. Yeah, happiness is okay, positive, but then we may want to cling to have the same kind of experiences again. Traumatic experiences traps a lot of us, refusing to let us move forward with happiness and peace of mind. That's the reason why there's so much of what you call depression and unhappiness. Even young people, yeah, so much pressure and stress in life. As I was saying, I was learning all these exercises from our teacher as a layperson. In fact, I didn't dare introduce some of the teachings that we had to go through. Yeah. Where we have to contemplate the one that we love most, especially those who are parents. He actually asks us to really try to imagine if our children die before us, are we able to accept that? And of course, I know many of our devotees who have lost their children, adult children too. It's so painful, so painful. How many of us can go through that? But we have to go through that when the situation arises. So Buddhism is actually there to teach us to accept realities of life, not to really turn us into very pessimistic kind of, negative people. No, it's just preparing us that whatever we can learn through the Buddha's teaching, this is actually what is going to happen to us. We do not know whether it will happen to us or not. We don't know when it will happen to us, but definitely we know we'll die one day. Yeah. So all these things are just reminders, okay? The teacher's emphasis is that when we actually learn about impermanence and death and all that, we tend not to be egoistic. We tend not to be very arrogant, because anything can be taken away from us anytime through any reasons. We really have no idea. So preparing ourselves through the Buddhist way, through meditation, through the power of now, generating more positive, energy, especially when we're, in a group. That's one of the very good way to really have that group energy to motivate us to even practice even more. That's why BSV is doing a wonderful job by opening up its doors for everyone to come in. It's not easy to meditate alone at home. Even if you have a very quiet place at home, it's not easy to, unless you are a very experienced meditator who can get in and out of jhanas. That is very different. But if we are still experiencing all these kind of inner chatters and, the mind running into the past and into the future and all that, it is always good to come together to practice as a group. Yeah. So that energy together, actually, it can be very, reinforcing for us to really sit for the number of hours that we come together to sit. In fact, most of the time, I think the sitting hour is about 1 hour. If you are able to sit for a longer period, I'm not sure whether the hall is open for them or not, but in fact, if we have the opportunity, we like to sit without a time limit. without a time limit. Why do we have the alarm is for those who actually are beginners and who may not be able to sit for long. But for instance, in our monastery there, we do have alarm, just 2 sounds, very quiet. And for those who are really, meditating and getting into calmness, okay, not even stillness, it's just calmness. I always encourage them, especially in the nighttime, the still and quiet of the nighttime. You don't have to rush back home or you don't have to rush to work. If you're able to just continue your sit, those who need to leave quietly. Those who are able to sit. Yeah. But of course, this being a city center, we need people to close up and all that, so it's quite impossible for that to happen. And then right now, Newbury Buddhist Monastery, we have already, we've completed building 24 rooms for self-retreatants. If you are experienced meditators, very sorry, this is nature, I can't control it. It's not anyone who wants to have this kind of cough or anything. This is part of nature. There's no way to control it, so we just got to accept it. Don't be shy. If you need to cough, cough. Okay? Yeah, so please excuse me for a minute. There are many things in life that we cannot control because it's all part of nature. So if you are able to have some time by yourself, because recently we have seen people going up there for 2 weeks of self-retreat and all that, where we just leave them alone. You have your own room, you have your own time, your own pace of meditation, do walking, reading, whatever. But most of the time when we are meditating, I always discourage the meditator to read too much or listen to too much Dhamma, unless it's a conducted meditation. And then you listen to the instruction of the teacher, because they are trying to guide us into the flow of silence inwards. Yeah. Otherwise, if we are meditating, don't read too much, don't listen to too much Dhamma. We have been listening to so many Dhamma talks and all that. It is time for us to really internalize the Dhamma, right? Through what you call insight exploration, inwards exploration, not always going out. This is the problem with most of us, including us monastics. A lot of times our mind is just going out all the time. And of course, having the gadget like the mobile phone, that is very disruptive. So I would encourage myself to leave my phone behind anytime it's possible, because the phone is now like part of our body. Every time you see a person, you see the phone. It's like part of the body. Can we really live without a phone anymore? It's so difficult, especially when we have duties and responsibilities, especially when we're working. So 2 days ago, we had a teen session here. We had about 11 or 12 of them. And only one child did not have a phone. Oh, I congratulated her so much. And I really, really admire the mother or father who refused to give them a phone. Just one child without it. It's so beautiful. I still remember those good old days when I don't have to keep on answering to people so quickly. You are at the beck and call of everybody. One message comes over, they expect you to reply. A WhatsApp come over, they expect you to reply. Yeah. So we have to really sort of like give ourselves a break every day. Tell yourself, between this time to this time, I'm not going to look at my phone. Are we able to do that? It's so habitual now. That's why, cultivation is really getting out of our habits. It's so easy to get into a habit. And this habit of reading the phone all the time, my goodness, sometimes I find myself getting into the habit of checking my phone so regularly. I told myself, no, I'm not going to do that. And people have to understand that I'm not there to answer your message or phone call every time you call. Can you imagine, as a monastic, people have our phone. Everyone will be calling me about things, to ask about things and all those things. Yeah. It may sound selfish, but it's very disruptive to having some peace and calm in our life. life is very stressful. Even the teens, the young people nowadays feel the stress of life nowadays because of technology, the fast pace of life out there. And right now, I think another fear is coming into the workers, mind. Those in the IT business, they tell us that they probably will be taken over by the AI and all that. So those are things that is happening around this world. What are we going to do? Yeah. So there's a lot of concerns and worries out there about holding on to a job and all that. And also about our health also. With stress ongoing, health is definitely going to suffer. Right. So it is really good to really take time off to meditate and also to be able to take care of our physical body too. How we have a proper diets, simple good diets, something that doesn't cause too much affliction to the body, because the Buddha has mentioned having this body is a source of danger, a source of affliction, a source for sicknesses. So just having this existence, the Buddha mentioned, it is dukkha, suffering. Yeah. But I think we don't see the urgency. Most of us don't, because there's a lot of sukha, happiness happening every now and then. And then we feel that, well, no, life isn't that bad. I'm in no hurry to get out of it. I'm still happy to enjoy life. Yeah. Yeah. So it's up to the individual to see the urgency, whether you really want to go serious onto the path or not. Yeah. No, it doesn't mean that you have to become a monk or a nun. You don't need to be a monk or a nun to become awakened. So-called nibbana or enlightenment, I prefer the word awakened, because the Buddha was awakened to universal truth, to the truth of what nature is all about. So you don't need to become a monk or nun to be awakened. But we need people to become monks and nuns because we need people to preserve the teachings of the Lord Buddha. That's the reason why we are also hoping that there will be those who are spiritually mature to walk the path wearing the robe, to ensure that the true Dhamma taught by the Lord Buddha is being preserved. Yeah? So it doesn't matter whether we wear the robe or not. Awakening is open to anybody. The Buddha did not say that if you don't wear the robe, you won't get enlightened. Even his own father, a king, he got into the holy stream. Yeah. So there is always this possibility. So as long as we don't convince ourselves that, oh no, it's not possible for us as layperson to get enlightened and all that. No. Yeah. Let's not deceive ourselves anymore. The Buddha has mentioned in the suttas that we can become awakened if we practice according to his guidance, the what they call Mahasatipatthana Sutta, the mindfulness techniques that he has taught us. So have the confidence that we can do it. And with the proper teachers guiding us, with our understanding, with our efforts put in, by following the Noble Eightfold Path, we can become awakened. Okay? All right? So if there's any questions, I'm ready for them.
Thank you, Ajahn, for the powerful meditation on impermanent and the teaching.
Thank you.
Just a quick announcement before we proceed Q&A. So tomorrow night, same time at 7:30, we have layperson-led meditation. And then Monday to Thursday night at 7 p.m. Melbourne time, meditation and healthy habit. 20 minutes monastic-led guided night meditation sit on disco. So usually it's on Tuesday and Thursday, there will be monastic-led. New Day, New Mind, daily meditation group that you can join anytime between 4 a.m. and 6:30 a.m. Melbourne on Discord channel as well. So next Sunday, we have a Dhamma talk at BSV, led by Ajahn Vihari, and then next Monday night meditation will be led by Ajahn Vihari as well. So, any question from the floor? Just open to that. Yeah. Ayya, we don't have any questions.
No questions. That's
online
good.
as well. Yeah.
Okay. So then let's call it a night and have a pleasant night. I think it's raining outside, so please drive carefully. And hopefully you come back for the next session. And Sundays is open in the morning for you to come for meditation too. Okay. Thank you for being here. I don't know if you are comfortable. You can just pray to, just bow to the Buddha. Yep. Thank you.